guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have the second part of this Chrysler 300M. I'm going to replace all the injectors in the spark plug since I'm going to remove the intake for that. So remember, this is the one that has a cylinder, I think it's 6. No, remember actually, I think it's cylinder 6 code for it. I have the injectors in here. Let me show it to you guys. And I have the intake manifold gasket, which looks like it's just a simple one. Hopefully that's the correct OEM parts. They were not that expensive, so luckily look like the injectors are very easy and simple and cheap. So these are the injectors, and they come with the rings and everything we need. So I'm going to set up the camera on the tripods and try to locate it as best possible so you guys can hear me, and the video quality is probably better, more steady capture. All right, guys. Let's proceed with the disassemble. The first thing that I usually do with engines like this is blow some air with with air gun. Make sure that all these holes are with not much dust, and I blow here because there's always a lot of debris and a lot of leaves from car parking. So also I like to do a quick visual inspection to see if there's any broken hoses or very damaged hoses that you don't want to touch, and then tell the customer. Also to get familiar to where you got to disassemble and start to just be looking for, like, I know that I'm going to need a 10, a 13. These are all 10s in here. Those are just plugs. I'm going to use a couple of pliers and so to remove these connections. This is a 10, 2, 10, 13 to remove these brackets in here so they're out of my way. But everything looks very straightforward. I don't think that I want to get the cowl space removed. Definitely we got the intake coming on this side, but my goal is to be able to remove everything, lift it up, and then disconnect whatever we need from the throttle body or so. Otherwise I will just go ahead and try to remove the bolts from the throttle body. Like this type of hose is there's just vacuum lines. You want to be be careful with that. Especially, this is what we said this was a 2003. Let's look at that again. Actually, no, it's a 2001. So yeah, think about that, right? So 2001, you want to be very careful. What I usually do, like this one was not so bad, but what I usually do is I break the hose loose with a screwdriver, and then I remove like here, and I just try to do that. So you break the seal, and then the hose doesn't get damaged. And I like to remove on the side, try to like wiggle it. So this one doesn't look like it's going to come apart well. It's an elbow that I might gonna have to try to repair. It feels very, very gummy. Temperature makes it kind of like weld and collapse inside. Yeah, I can feel this. Definitely gonna have to be replaced. But I guess part of like what I was just saying, 2001, you don't expect to be everything perfect. Just be careful with the connections. I'm not going to record the whole video, so don't expect that, but I will get you like insides of the most important things that you need to do in order to remove and install the injectors. Again, my goal was the first diagnosis, and this is just after repair, and I will show the car running good and new waveforms on the coils and on the injectors. Alright guys, so let me start the video and I show you the process of a little bit more disassemble. Let me give you a little bit of an update. Okay, so we have some casualties in here. As you can see, this hose will need to be replaced. This is a PCV hose that goes from the air filter to one of the back covers. This should be very flexible, and as you can see, this is just it's almost like a piece of PVC. We have another one in here. This vacuum line is the same, broken here. The good thing at this is I can put a rubber hose in between and just connect it together, so that's not so bad. That's a line that goes from here to this actuator. I was trying to remove the intake and it's going to be impossible. I'm going to have to remove the cable space because there's two EGR passages that are attached to the bottom of the intake on this side and on this side, which is right next to the cable space up. I'm definitely going to have to remove this in order to work with the space, as I always like to do. So just wanted to give you those insights, and everything else seems to be fine. Again, I have this little elbow here that is damaged by the oil, and these two hoses in there, so not so bad. I already unplugged the what it looks in here to be the map sensor, and we have another one in here. This is probably a position for this flap, most likely. I have to, like, you know, just guess right now because it's only it's a 2-wire, so it might be actually an actuator or a flap, so we'll see. Okay guys, on the cowl space we have the screws T25. There are actually two different sizes. We got the short ones that goes on the front, and then the long ones that goes on the back. There are just two on the back. Hopefully that shows in the video right there. Then the wiper arms are 15 millimeters here. And I wanted to just show you what I did to remove the arms. I usually just lift it a little bit and I just wiggle the arm. When you see that it's moving, that's it. That's what you really need to do. Looks like we got another bolt in here, most likely of the long ones. As always, when you're working in here, be careful with any metal, like any of these tools. If you fall and hit this windshield, you will crack it. So make sure that you always hold with both arms and don't put too much pressure, because like I said, it's dangerous. Alright, just be careful with that. So that should be the covers. Let it roll a little bit so you guys can see how this looks. I was definitely gonna have to remove the wipers. I mean, all the motor and everything. Well, let's see, because my goal is to remove this bar, which is 13 millimeter. It's all bolted here, so that will make my life easier. So again, it's a 13 millimeter. Oop, a little hard. So I have two choices when I have something like that. It's either get a ratchet, a regular ratchet, and do it by hand, or just use a big impact on this to break it loose. It's got so much power. This one looks like it has a long tread. It's just rust. Just to remove it with that one because they feel very tight. I might as well take them all out. See, this is the areas, and this is good about the video. They show you where the different sizes. So we have short ones, medium, and a long one in here. Sorry, I got interrupted. Again, so I already removed the ones on the other side, which were 3 more. Be careful when you lift this up because there's a lot of debris, and most likely in all cars will. I have to remove here Just a clip holding that hose. That's it. Sorry. Okay, so now we got a lot more room to work. I'm going to remove this hose. This is already loose, so it's going to be very easy. I can remove the throttle body. Now I can reach those connectors from underneath. It's just like it has a clamp that you squeeze and then you can remove the pipe. Hopefully not too stuck, we'll see. As you can see, I have the intake manifold pretty much removed. It's just held by those two pipes in the front. I'm going to remove the cruise control cable and the accelerator cable. This is a drive-by-wire car, so I need to remove that as well. So let me pause the video. I have to work in another car and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, I'm back. I'm going to remove those two connections on those hoses for the EGR. I suspect that's what it is because there's metal tubes. And this is the thing that, you know, is in there. So what I'm doing in there is just with this pick, just go like this and pull it out so it doesn't fall out. I got to look for everywhere. So this is going to be a little kind of a space in here with the camera and you guys in there, but it is what it is, right? So locate it first. It's up here. Yep. I can now that we're here, we can disconnect the TPS and idle actuator connections. Wow, that one is tight. Alright, got it out. We got one more thing that I don't know what it is, but I'm going to unplug it if I can. This is a 2-wire connector that's under the throttle body, but I don't see what can that be. I got that one off. The EGR is on this side, so like I said, you just put them in there, pry it out, and you don't lose the clips. I think the only thing that I got left right now will be the throttle body, the throttle cables. Everything else seems to be off. Let's see if I can get those out of there. They're usually just a plastic. The 2 wires are connected together with a plastic clip. You gotta do is find the right position. It might be off. I think these ones are separate. I'm just going to use a pocket screwdriver for that. You have like a lock pin in there. You just pull and then push the wire out. I will show you as soon as I got that off. These things are so brittle. It's unbelievable. Again, what you expect with a 2001, right? Just to get the cable off the throttle. Alright, got that one. I got one out. I'll show you. So hopefully you guys can see that. This is the lock, and all you gotta do is just slide it into like the groove and then locks it up into the small hole. So the other one, I think it just slides. Yep, we'll lock into this one, since this one is the one that will lock both in place. So let's hold the throttle body there. Yep. And then we got both cables off. Still feels very tight. be a bracket in here. And what I like to always keep by by myself, by my side is a good mirror. Looks like a 10 on the back. It has a bracket under the throttle body. Everything else looks very good. For being a 2001, it's in very good shape, this car. I use the Milwaukee cordless for that. Just by feeling, get to where that bolt should be. It's kind of tight. And that's our bolt that has a torch inside too. I mean, you can use either one. Put this in the side. Yeah, that looks better. That feels better. Now, before we pull it out, just go with a quick inspection again. I know that this is connected. I think it's connected to here, so make sure that you're not pulling any wire connections or anything, and it doesn't look like it. So that's the intake. Careful with that, don't do the same mistake I just did. I turn around and I have the bolts in here. So luckily it's right there. I put this on the side. It's good to keep a magnet with you too. I mean, it didn't fall anywhere. I'm gonna get those bolts out of the manifold, the ones that goes here, and I'll be right back. Pause the video so it doesn't get longer than necessary. A good advice is also good. I just use regular towels and I push them into that hole. That's to stop, if you let something go down. Might get in the cylinder. I mean, the valves, they're not all closed, so it's better be safe than sorry, right? So at least that is, tight in there. It will stop anything from going too far deep. All right, that looks good. And these were the EGR passages that were with that with those clips. I mean, they got definitely carbon, but they're not disrupted. It's just like in the real edge. Usually that's what happens. When the flow has a little bit of a, I cannot say restriction, opposition to flow, it will collect carbon, but the rest is completely clean. So this is just small carbon. I dump it on the floor because I step up and that gets into my shoes. Try to get it out. Don't drip it in. Don't drop it inside as much as possible, because otherwise I will get into the intake. I will blow, air onto the intake passages and everything. Make sure they're all clean. But like I said, that's not bad at all. This has 2 rings in here for seal. They look good. And now the next step will be to remove the injectors. But everything looks very, very good. So I'm going also, like you guys saw, I got the spark plugs in there, so I'm going to start removing the coils as well, just to service a little bit better coils and injectors. Spark plug and injectors at the same time. These are the debris that I'm talking about. They're always collecting the intakes. So just be careful to cover up, but you will be good. I got all the coils removed. Let me show you. They look actually very good. They don't look like any arcing has happened onto it. I'm always very careful to use a pick on the connector, a push on the tab, and I go on the front to open it up so they don't break. They're always very brittle. 2001, 16 years old. And one other thing that I want to show you too. I will do this when I'm going to install it, but I use this is dielectrical grease. It's specific for this. I just go a little bit on the edge of the coil, so when I put the spark plug, that will help the spark plug reach the point and make good contact. Don't ever install the coils dry. This is the best. You will save your coil for longer time, and you don't have a carbon track. This will help a lot to not have a carbon track. All right. Let's remove one of the spark plugs to see how they look. At least for damage impact, it's not really too strong, but well, this was tight. One on the back wasn't. I'm gonna show how remember we have the link condition on this cylinder, all the rest look alright. I want to see what a big of a difference we have into the spark plug by being run, you know, with like no fuel, to see if we have any. Well, it definitely looks wet. Well, this one looks actually worse, so it's hard to say, you know, with a spark looks like this. Definitely the gap is, and the electrode is burned a lot. This is the one on this one, and that's the one with like no fuel. Remember, sometimes fuel, sometimes no fuel. So I was expecting to see a bigger difference, and no, not really. This is actually also the reason this just a start. So the customer told me that it was just one day that she felt that misfire. So, and I believe that she takes care of the car. So let's keep going with this. I'm about to remove the injectors. I removed 4 bolts, 13 millimeter. They hold the injector lines, or sorry guys, I'm tired from today. So the injector rail. So therefore 13. I also remove all these are the clips that hold the injectors in place, and I'm going to tell you what I did that. But also I removed this number 8 that holds the fuel rail on the back, right where the looks like the inlet is. So the reason I did that is because I want to make sure that I can wiggle those injectors to release the fuel rail from the manifold, or the head in this case, and also from the rail, because I need to remove them as well. So that should make it easier to come out. Throw a little bit of a WD-40 might work too. I also blow air to get rid of all this debris that was here, because whatever it is on the injector hole will go inside. So make sure you clean that too. Alright, to wiggle it a little bit more so the WD-40 can reach there. Don't worry about the connections also for the coil. I forgot to tell you that the injector is brown and the ignition is black, and the connector itself is way different. And you can see it's very brittle, so I don't want to move too much. Just, you know, enough for you to move here. Still, okay, got one out. Two. It doesn't matter if it comes from the rail or from the head itself. I just need to remove them. This one is still very tight. I got two out. I got the rail out, and only one injector stay here on the injector rail. Most of the O-rings stay in the rail too. Gotta be careful with that line. And yeah, I can see all the O-rings in there. They're blue color. Okay, that's what you're looking for. And now I'm going to get a pick and remove them. I just want to show you guys how I normally do it. I mean, all these injectors are garbage, so I don't really care about them too much. I know that I have the right ones, which is good. And I'm just going to remove all of them, clean the hose, the hole where they go, remove those O-rings, and start installing everything back. Okay, I'm setting up the spark plugs right now. I have 5 of them installed. I use this so I don't drop the spark plugs in the hole, because you can close the gap or you can break one of the spark plugs like that. They're very fragile. They're very strong when they're installed, but if you drop a spark plug or you see the guy delivering the parts, drop in the back, return them. Ceramic will break and you'll start getting misfires, and you don't want that. I just, you know, put them a couple of turns and then I do the rest by hand. Always, whatever you installed, make sure that you tie it at once so you don't forget. As you can see, I already cleaned this with brake cleaner, blue air. You know, make sure I remove whatever was left in there from the fluid. With experience of years, you know, kind of like the torque of this stuff. You don't need to be, you know, having a torque wrench for everything. If you want to have the torque specs for everything, just let me know and I will put them into the comments. I already cleaned the intake manifold as well, ready for the gasket. That is plastic manifold, so don't put any brake cleaner or chemical in there because you might warp it. So just be careful with that. Just gonna get that out of my way. I have this engine grease in here because I like to move a little bit of the O-rings for the injector so they go in soft. Because otherwise, if you put it dry, you might get a wrinkle and then it start leaking. You don't want that either. I already cleaned all the holes for the injectors on the heads. Another thing that I want to do is I just spray a little bit of a brake cleaner in the rag. I want to clean a little bit in here just to get rid of any carbon in those O-rings. Put some grease in there, let them seal good. They look perfect, so I don't have any issues with that. Let me get one of the injectors in position so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So these are the new injectors. They got one ring on each side. And actually, I didn't see any black O-rings in there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the black rings are still on the injector. So what I usually do, it's almost like the engine oil. This is a lubrication assembly for engines. I have used this, I don't know, for 25 years. Doesn't matter, it will get, washed out in the first couple of uses. Keep yourself always a rag with you. Got a dirty one and a clean one. So all you gotta do is find a position. This injector looks like it goes like this. So all you want to do is make sure it goes in soft. See, that's what you're looking for. Same thing in the bottom. So I'm going to proceed to install all the injectors. Then you have to put the clip that holds the injector in place. I went a little bit too much in. Yep. That's it. That will hold your injector in the spot that goes perfectly. And then you have to fit the injector with all the injectors and everything in place just smoothly. That's what you're looking for. So I'm going to stop the video and I'll show you when I have everything done in here. Alright, got all the injectors installed. One thing that you can do, as you can see, this one is not like fully seat. It's just softly keep the rail down to help the seat, It's just normal, from the ring. You try to help it out a little bit. It looks very good to me. These are just 13 millimeters. You can see the injector going down pretty tight, so let's just go easy on it. Then final up by hand. Connect the injector first, so they're easy for me like that. You don't have the connector on the way or nothing. Now we need to put that 8mm that goes on the back and it holds the rail. It's just a coarse thread, kind of like a Phillips screw. It actually has a Phillips head too if you want to use a screwdriver. I already used the everything on the way. That's it. Make sure you put all the fasteners again, because a lot of people, they take stuff out and I'm not going to put this one, I'm not going to put this one, and then the intake manifold will work. In that case, it's very important because the rail, by the fuel pump pulses, it creates vibration. So it's very important to secure everything very good. Alright, that all looks good. I can now install the ignition coils. Again, I have this one already with grease, so I have it actually in their own spot. These are very easy. I think you can remove these ones with the manifold installed, so I can put them back to where they were. It's not a huge amount. All you're really looking for is to get some of that grease on the boot, so when you hit the spark plugs, it goes nice and easy, and it helps the spark plug reach the contact and you have no arcing like that. Got the intake manifold ready to go. I'm going to remove all this and install the intake manifold. I think that this is good enough for you guys to see what the process is. I'm going to show you, when the car is running probably tomorrow, because I gotta get this hoses fixed, and I don't have that here, so it will be tomorrow. I will finish it up and start the car and get the scope connected, and then we can see the good ignition waveforms and the injector form as well. So I will stop the video for tomorrow. Okay guys? Alright, I didn't need to wait for tomorrow. I found a hose for the elbow right here and a little piece that I put in here. So that's the only thing that I needed. So let's go inside the car. I got the scanner here. Just waiting for, because we got that code still in memory. Let me make sure the scanner is on. Sorry guys, it's a little dark in here. Now let's put the ignition on. I think this is better without the light. Got the green light on the BCI. Might take a little longer to ID, but I want to show you guys this too. It's a little bit too dark. Put some light and see if it is now adjust. Didn't read the bin. It's IS 2001. What am I doing? Do I have this saved? Let me go, because I don't have to. If I have it saved, which I know I do. Vehicle history. Saab, Hyundai, Chrysler up to 2003. This is the one that will auto ID the car the same time. I mean the same way I did it last time. Better if I put this in here. Sometimes it's a little hard for the phone to adjust to the different lighting. Alright, we got gonna click on diagnosis, control unit, powertrain, engine module. Read the codes, and then yes, we have the P0206, and we're going to get out of here, and we're going to erase the codes. Ignition on, engine off, yes. Yeah, I know, no, for the freeze frame. So let's read it again, make sure they got erased. Okay, so that's all I needed for here. Let's go to leave data, see live data, and see if we have any misfire counters, because that will be enough for what this second part is about. I'm pretty sure those injectors are good now. We have no misfire counters. Alright, so let's get out of here and let's start the car. Alright, start very good. Idle is very, very steady. Remember, this car was misfiring in cold, warm, either way, so just gonna keep it running for a little bit. Actually, let me well, hopefully you guys can hear that the car is running. I mean, look at the RPMs, it's very steady. We have no chicane light, and when this was happening, it's immediately. So truly, this is good enough for me to not connect the scope and and nothing else. I already had the known good forms because the car, for some reason, had the injector working sometimes. So let me stop the video. If something happens, I'll get you guys back. Otherwise, this will be the end of the second part of the repair. Thank you so much for joining my channel and watching my videos, and have a happy new year and a Merry Christmas to all of you. This is 2017 December. Thank you so much. Bye.